When the 2019 Chevrolet Camaro SS was unveiled just last year, Camaro fans around the world gasped in horror at what they saw because the 2019 Camaro is ugly, they said. It's worse than the previous generation, far worse. But I think this design is actually a little bit misunderstood. Now that people have pretty much cooled off about the design, I think there are a few things that Chevy could change on the Camaro to actually make it a great looking car. So that's what we're going to be getting into in this video. Starting out here with the front fascia area, this is where most people have complaints with the new Camaro, and I can definitely see why. It's a really kind of dynamic, aggressive design, but also sort of flawed and mutilated, you could almost say, from the previous generation. But I think with just a couple small tweaks and some paint, it could be a lot better. And what I mostly don't like about this front end design is this big black bar up here. Now, if you look at the design, it almost looks like they're breaking up the grills into two sections, but they're kind of trying to blend this middle portion into the rest of the front, and it just doesn't turn out very well. Now you can see this also in other cars like the Nissan GTR. This is actually a crash structure that they are required to put in the car to make it safe for driving and to protect the engine bay. They have to put this in here. They can't just have grille along the entire front end of the car. So this is a necessary portion of the car, which is really disappointing because if you look at these renders I did, it would actually look kind of cool if it were all just grille and not broken up with this beam. But since this beam has to be there for safety reasons, I think they should at least paint it to match the rest of the car so that it's not kind of blatantly trying to blend it in with the rest of the grille, but failing completely, if you get what I'm saying. In addition, this badge here in the center, it's been hollowed out to let a little more airflow into the engine, help with cooling and things like that. It's supposed to be kind of a cool design. Obviously, the flow tie like the previous ZL1 1LE had. Speaking of which, you can watch my review of that right there, little plug. But I think it would be a better design if they just forgot the whole flow tie thing and moved it up here at the top of the grille where it was in the previous generation. Is performance going to decrease just a little bit? Yeah, it probably will, but I think it's worth it because this really looks out of place up here. And so if you combine this painted front portion with the grille moved up to here, automatically the car looks a million times better in my opinion. And if you actually look at the 2019 Chevrolet SEMA concept car of the Camaro, these are the two big changes that they made to the design, and it looks way, way better. So hopefully that's something that they're going to integrate into future production. But I'm going to go even farther than that SEMA concept car and suggest that a few changes be made on the side of the car. Now, a lot of people having complained about the side of the car. It's a pretty good design overall. As you can see, there's some really, really muscular lines in the back of it and just absolutely fantastic proportions like all Camaros have had, but it could be improved just a little bit. And that's why I want to talk about this portion right here, this front fender on the side. Right here we've got the nice Camaro badge, but other than that, it's pretty much just a blank slate. It looks completely flat and plain and blank and just kind of uninterrupted. And I don't think that's a great idea because this is the SS car. It's supposed to be aggressive and intimidating, and this blank side portion here just doesn't do it for me. I think they need to add a little grille right here to suck extra air out from the wheel well, improve downforce a little bit, and break up the side design a little bit. And finally, let's wrap it all off by talking about the rear design of the Camaro, because holy heck, Chevy, how did you mess up the rear so bad? I hear a lot of people talking about the front end of this car, how it's really terrible. The rear is even worse, in my opinion, on this particular model with the way it's been spec'd. Overall, I think the new design is pretty similar to the old one. Obviously, they've updated the taillights a little bit, and I actually think those do look good, a little bit more modern and sleek and smooth, and overall just a better design in the back, except for one thing that completely ruins it all, and that's these exhaust tips. These are completely fake, way enlarged, just way too much shiny, cheap looking chrome. In fact, you can wiggle it. It just looks so fake, so enlarged and exaggerated, and just ruins the back look of this car. Unfortunately, this is an optional feature. You can have quad exhaust tips instead, which in my opinion is definitely the way to go. They shouldn't even be offering this on the SS Camaro because it really ruins the rear end of this car. So Chevy, make these changes, and I think at the end of the day, you're gonna have a great looking Camaro, just as good, if not better, than the previous generation. In fact, if you guys want to see my review of the 2019 Camaro, you can do so by clicking on one of the cards right there, but also make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts on the design down below, and go ahead and check out my channel if you haven't already, because I've got a ton of exotic supercar and hypercar reviews up that you're not going to want to miss out on. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.